that's where we could have stopped it, though, at that phone call. Nothing else. She did not have to go to the wedding. The phone call could have just ended everything and been like,
the phone call should have ended everything years ago before he met Meghan Markle.
Exactly.
Okay?
What do you do if you're Meghan in this situation?
Do not dip back. Don't.
What do you do if you're Meghan in this situation?
Sit back and collect the bag.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, well, he's
Got
the
the
prince,
bag.
you know.
But this is kind of crazy, right? Because here's what I truly believe. And they're just the stories, and look, there's nothing fact-based here. If even this phone call really happened, but to me, he dated this woman for a very long time. The only reason they're not together is because she couldn't figure out a way to make it work publicly. She wasn't about that public life. They try to come back around.
Well, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You have to move on.
But she tried to come back in 2015, and it still didn't work. I feel like that's the true love of his life, and he's just with Meghan.
But why?
Jordan, how dare you?
Jordan,
Don't you dare! Take it back right now.
Somebody's got to say it. Somebody's got to
No, but you love when you love someone for so long, when you love someone for 7 years, or when you're with someone for so long. I mean, you might have those conversations and you might end up having that phone call, but like I said, that's it. Like, it ends there. You know what I mean? And she's like, she even said,
crying before the wedding.
Why is there so many emotions before our wedding?
What you crying about, dude? What's the tears for?
Did you guys see that she said she promised she wasn't going to crash the party? Like, that was like
You
the
have
last
all the details. Here's the thing. We don't
That's
need
our journalist.
any details.
That's our journalist
We
right there.
need no details in this moment because the answer is
No.
And so Meghan Markle came out. You heard she came out with this new song, Becky with the Good Hair.
Jordan is
You guys,
crazy.
okay, all right. I'm going to keep it moving here. All right, now since we got Erica here, and since this next story, she's probably going to go off the rails with it because it involves sex. I'm going to give
That's your
everybody.
warning,
I wasn't in the know of this.
Kids leave the room.
Kids leave the room. Parents, if you got morals, you get out of the room too. Because here we go. All right, according to a new study, more and more Americans are going along with the idea of having open relationships. Are you guys surprised by this?
I'm not for it.
Whoa, hold the phone.
No, I'm not for it. I mean, some things should be open in a relationship. Boom, boom. I won't say what, but
You don't need to.
right. But some things should be open, but other things should be closed, and that is access to other people. I'm very about monogamy and one-on-one, no threesomes, foursomes, nothing. No.
I will say, though, that was a big thing in, like, college. When I was still at school, like, people would be like, oh, yeah, you know, we're in an open relationship. And no one really knew how to define that. So we were just like, okay, so are you coming out or not? Like, you know, we never really questioned that past that.
But yeah, in college, that probably has a life because you're young, you're free.
Yes.
But I thought it was interesting. The story it showed, and they used fictitious names, but it talked about a married couple with kids. They're out to dinner, and another man and woman were there with them. The kids obviously didn't know what was going on. The father, at the end of the meal, would go home with the kids, and the wife would go play with her man.
Well, see, those are like swingers. My thing is,
that's
whatever it
that's what it is,
right?
open
But open relationships all the time means that you all are free to just date and have full-on other relationships. Swinging is just you just get on the swing and swing, and then you come back.
So
and
here's my
swing.
thing. When you do this, I know that there are couples that choose to do this. I know couples that do this. Here's the thing. You are playing with fire. So if you are willing to risk your relationship for somebody else, because my big question is, how do I know if you guys are gallivanting and I'm at work?
Yeah.
If you're like, you know, like, are there rules? What are the rules? It just gets too gray and convoluted.
Yeah. What do you think, Jordan?
Segue to problems.
How do you feel about
like
open
being open? You
Jordan?
open?
I think it could work. It's not for me. It's not for me, but I think it can work if you have strict guidelines. That person has to be vetted, that the other person has to be comfortable with it, that there's only certain ways you can see them. And I think ultimately it probably gets messy. But I think it works, and I think you guys are nuts if you don't think that you know a lot of people that have this set up. Felicia's saying she knows them. You know them.
I feel like
I know 'em.
we don't admit to it. You know what I mean? Like,
But I think we don't know about it. I think it's working so perfectly. So for some people, there might be that couple out there. You're like, man, that's the most happy couple going, and that guy might be getting buckets weekly from somebody else.
Bucket.
So this is how this talk goes with your guys.
Right. Oh, did you get those? Did you hit the bucket?
Those buckets weekly. What's a bucket?
I've been around Brandon Pope too long.
Yeah. I'm not for the openness.
bucket?
I don't
I'm
want
just gonna. You got this. I'm
All
sorry.
right, we're gonna continue our
Nasty
session.
Jordan.
No. Well,
No.
I don't know. Guys,
So-
I graduated 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and I feel like at that time you're having so many emotions, and I mean, you have to say yes. Like, I feel like she didn't even think about it. She was just like,
Yeah, because it's interesting what Deanna's saying, because there was a lot of social media backlash to this,
was.
where it's a beautiful moment. We all celebrated it here, but this guy finds himself defending himself because he's being accused of stealing her shine.
Well,
But hold on, I want to take this back. What do you mean? Like, she didn't have to say yes. She could have
He
said
could
no.
have done it any other day, and I understand. I
a
kind of
magical
side with
day.
him. Yes, it's a very special day, but you have to let her have her moment.
So you're siding with the
You're one of those
social
tweeters.
media
I'm one of those
backlash?
tweeters.
Really?
Just let me enjoy graduation. I mean, I come from a first-generation family. Like, that's a whole deal. So
Okay,
it's
sure.
a huge deal for us or for me to have graduated. And he could have done it the day after. He could have done it at the party.
So,
I
but
mean,
what if
like,
you want to pair it with a really great day and make it an even greater day?
Like, get me a plane and ask me.
Okay.
Like,
So, you got a little Felicia in you. We got a little Felicia in you. Okay.
I think that I think that they're okay. First of all, you don't know my relationship, so don't put your experiences
True.
onto my moment.
Right,
Like
right.
this is all me. So I feel like these people are being. It is all
True,
me.
I hear you.
I feel like these people are being overly sensitive, and they should shut their mouths when it's not their relationship or their experience. Like only speak for yourself. I don't think it takes away from her big day. I think maybe it's blending two great moments.
Tiebreaker.
Yeah, well,
Split.
I think his intent was really not, I mean, he meant well. And I also see the other side. I think some women are hating because he's fine. Like, that's a very looking man. Now, had he been an ugly dude that proposed, it
He was
wouldn't
tall.
have even went
No
viral. If
problem.
anything, they would have been feeling sorry for
it wouldn't have
An
gone
ugly
viral.
one, you can have him.
But when you're fine and you're proposing, he had a nice suit on. It was tailored. He had some of your swagger, you know.
Okay.
So they're hating. They're
People are
hating.
so sensitive. They
I
have something
know.
to say about everything.
That's
These people
true,
are starting
though.
a
That's
life
true.
together.
Yeah.
We just need something to talk about.
My future husband can come propose to me anywhere, anytime.
All right, well,
place.